What is up, everyone? It's your boy Jared from Hoop Network, and welcome to the third episode of our segment, Hoop Insight. In this installment, I'll be going over who I believe to be the 5 most influential players in NBA history. I don't have these players in any particular order, but these 5 players are the reason the NBA has changed so drastically over the years, and the reason why the NBA is what it is today. Without these players, the NBA would not be what it is right now. They each played a monumental part in leaving their mark in the league. So without further ado, these are the 5 most influential players in NBA history. Let's get it. The first player on the list is none other than Steph Curry. Steph Curry, whether you like him or hate him, has changed the NBA to what it is currently. He revolutionized how offenses work and how defensive schemes work. He was the pioneer of turning the three-pointer into the most important shot in basketball. Steph Curry forces opponents' defense to have to stretch so far beyond the three-point line that it opens so much more for the Warriors' offense. Teams have to game plan to prepare Steph Curry to guard Steph Curry literally as soon as he passes the half-court line. The only players that really forces teams to do this are someone on his own team like Klay Thompson or someone like Damian Lillard, but Steph is the sole reason that players like Klay and Dame and whoever else can actually shoot such further distance shots and not be criticized for them. Let's take a look at the amount of three-point attempts per year since Steph Curry entered the league. We will take a look at the league average from 2009 to this season. Steph Curry entered the NBA back in 2009, and in the matter of a decade, take a look at how many more three-point attempts teams are taking per game. And as you can see from the graphic, it's actually hopped up from 18 back when he first entered the NBA all the way up to 33.5 three-point attempts per game right now in 2020 or the 2019-2020 season. So it's insane to see how much basketball has changed within a decade. It's an entirely new game, and players who can't adapt to this style of play will get pushed out of the league or never even make it to begin with. Steph Curry in 2015-2016 hit 402 three-pointers. Take a look from that year and look at how the rise of Steph Curry taking so many threes has helped result in every other team trying to replicate what the Warriors did for half the decade. It's nearly undeniable how Steph has changed the game, not even just in the NBA, but the basketball world as a whole. Steph Curry is now the reason you see that chubby kid at the Y trying to do crossovers and step backs from 30 feet away, or the 6'5" kid refusing to go down low and get rebounds, instead just settling to shoot deep threes. Let's face it, everyone's trying to be Steph Curry on the court nowadays. He has changed the game for the better or worse. That's up for you to decide. But we know one thing is for certain, he is one of the most influential players of all time. So here I am again, talking about Mr. LeBron James. But it shouldn't really be a surprise to anyone considering how much of an impact he has had on the game of basketball and life in general. So how has LeBron changed the game? His biggest impact on the NBA stemmed from his decision back in 2010.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
When LeBron James decided to take his talents to South Beach, he completely flipped the NBA on its head. He was the first player of his caliber that we had seen during the modern era make such a huge decision, leaving his hometown and joining forces with 2 other All-Stars and creating one of the best super teams ever. The decision opened up the floodgates not only for free agents in the NBA, but for free agents in all sports. LeBron James is someone many athletes from all sports look up to. So for them to see him take matters into his own hands and make a choice that he felt was best for him at the time inspired many free agents to take control of their careers and finally step up and make the decision they truly wanted to make. Instead of just catering to an organization that would get rid of them in an instant and then just claim that it was a business decision. But even today, if a player decides in free agency, depending on the circumstances, that they want out, they get constant backlash from that team's fan base for years. And as we've seen with players such as LeBron, KD, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, the list goes on. LeBron started a movement of player empowerment. The decision was the first platform for a star player to discuss their thoughts, feelings, and reasons for why certain decisions they made were best for them at that time. This platform led to future platforms that we know today, such as the Players Tribune, Uninterrupted, the Boardroom, etc. Players in today's league have all the power now, thanks to Mr. LeBron James. Teams are fortunate now to have a player for at least 5 years. Loyalty is no longer a necessity in the NBA, and players are looking for their best way to win. And if those teams are not providing them their best shot, they're taking matters into their own hands. Next on the list, AI, The Answer, Bubba Chuck, Jules, whichever nickname you like to call him the most, he arguably had the biggest cultural impact in NBA history. AI made players want to be him. He brought that flavor into the league that had been missing. He was the first to infuse that hip-hop style with basketball. He decided he wanted to wear what he wanted and talk how he wanted to talk. He was not catering to any type of media propaganda or how the media wanted him to be portrayed. He wasn't trying to do anything other than be himself in his rawest and true form. And he did that every minute he was in the NBA. He brought style to the league that every other player wanted to follow. So much so that he actually caused the NBA in 2005 to create a dress code for players at the game who were sidelined. This dress code stated that players are no longer allowed to wear chains, pendants, or medallions worn over clothes, no sunglasses in any buildings, no headgear of any kind, no jerseys unless approved by the team, and no headphones. This dress code seemed to be targeted directly towards Allen Iverson in the way that he dressed and brought himself to the games. The NBA feared about his perception because of the way AI dressed and how he inspired others to follow. Anyone who causes the NBA to implement rules because of you has had a big part of changing the game. But for Allen Iverson, not only did he have rules changed that affected the actual basketball game, he got rules changed because of his tremendous effect on the culture of basketball and the things outside the court. For years, AI had players looking up to him, and he still has players from this generation looking at him as a statement for fashion and culture. Next up, Michael Jordan. He was the biggest superstar the NBA had ever seen at the time, and probably still is to this day. People who didn't even watch basketball started to just because of MJ, and the way he flew through the air. It made the game look so easy but so exciting at the same time. So now let's take a look at the ratings for the finals when Michael Jordan was playing and how many people tuned in to watch his airness. Michael Jordan played in 6 finals and averaged the highest amount of viewers in NBA history. On average, his finals appearances were at least 25.4 million viewers, which is the highest average the NBA Finals has ever seen. MJ also has the highest viewed finals game in NBA history, and his last finals game ever, which was at 35.9 million viewers. In Game 6 of the 98 Finals versus the Jazz, where he solidified himself as the GOAT by hitting the shot over Brian Russell. Michael Jordan was the biggest NBA global icon. There were legends before him that I will talk about shortly, but no one impacted the fans more than Michael Jordan. The viewership shows how loyal fans were towards Michael Jordan and how many people actually wanted to be like Mike. Next up on the list, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. The NBA we know and love today could very well not even be here right now if it weren't for Larry and Magic entering the league the way they did. These two players go hand in hand. The NBA was at the brink of failure before Larry and Magic arrived. The NBA was losing viewers and money every year, and it looked like the NBA was about to fail. But then Larry and Magic sparked this one-of-a-kind rivalry that started back during their college days. In 1979, Larry and Magic faced off in the NCAA championship game. That sparked a rivalry that would lead into the NBA. And the basketball gods blessed us by allowing for the Celtics and Lakers to select these two legends and square them off against each other on the nation's biggest basketball stage. This rivalry is what got fans back into the NBA. They wanted to see the Celtics vs. Lakers finals matchup, and they wanted the two best players to square off. The NBA during the 70s faced a lot of scrutiny, considering the predominant drug use at the time and the racial tension due to the time period that this era took place in. Larry and Magic created this storyline in the NBA that hadn't been seen yet at the time. This storyline is the reason that the NBA is thriving today. Larry and Magic are legendary in their own right, but they are seen as the saviors in the NBA, and for that alone, I commend them and thank them for allowing this beautiful game to continue. So those were the 5 most influential players in NBA history. If you guys enjoyed, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with all of our content, and hit that notification bell while you're at it and never miss a video. And for your daily NBA updates and content, feel free to follow us on IG at hoop_network_. Thank you all again so much for watching, and stay tuned for my episodes of Hoop Insight. We have more segments coming to the Hoop Network channel, and you will not want to miss those. Stay tuned for the best basketball content. We also have some amazing giveaways coming very soon. Stay up to date with our IG for your chance to win something awesome. Thank you all so much. It's your boy Jared from Hoot Network signing off, and peace.